Hello, Hoop fam. It's Coach Steve, and thanks for checking out another episode of Magnum Opus. As promised, today we're going to take a look at Steph Curry and his performance in Game 5 of the 2015 NBA Finals. For the first three games of the Finals, Matthew Dellavedova and his grit, while being overmatched by reigning league MVP Steph Curry, was the story. Wait, let's back up because the story of the 2015 NBA Finals is actually David Lee. Whatever you think about David Lee because he's a big white guy, you need to get past that because he could play. From 2010 to 2014, David Lee made 2 All-Star games and averaged 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. In Game 3 of this series, he came in with the Warriors down big in the fourth quarter, and his playmaking out of the pick and roll, which he mastered in New York under Mike D'Antoni, unlocked the Warriors' offense. This is how the Warriors' offense looked without David Lee. Steph over-dribbling and the roll man in the pick and roll diving right into the teeth of the defense. Barbosa makes this shot, but it's coming off of a cross-court pass. This is what Steph looked like for 7 quarters of finals basketball. Not very MVP-like. Now, Draymond Green is one of the best defenders in league history, but if he scores more than 10 points, it's like finding a $20 bill on the street. It's found money. With David Lee, if you put a smaller player on him, it's a bucket, foul, or both. This play doesn't seem like a big deal on its own, but remember that possession earlier when Ezeli ran into traffic allowing Steph to be doubled hard? David Lee did, and this play was a tactical response to what the Cavs were doing to Steph on ball screens. Another ball screen, and Lee executes a short roll, and Mozgov can't get back into the play. This all works because Steph is getting the ball out of his hands quickly instead of dragging the double out. LeBron doesn't really want to take this charge, and David Lee ends up drawing a foul. I remember watching the fourth quarter of Game 3 and thinking to myself that the Warriors were going to be fine, and that is exactly what happened. Steph produced in the fourth quarter of Game 3 and kept on producing for the rest of the series on the way to his first NBA championship. The swagger was definitely all the way back for Games 4, 5, and 6.
Steps back, crossover, fires away. Wow! Another three from Curry!
In the Shaq episode, we looked at the shots he was able to create by merely being on the floor. Steph does the same thing, but in a different way. He comes off of the screen and draws 2 defenders, allowing Draymond to get downhill and throw this lob. Because Draymond is attacking the pass, Mozgov is able to hang back and make this lob tougher than it should be, but later in the game, Draymond turned these plays into layups, dunks, and assists. Now, Steph won't get an assist for this play, but it's all about his gravity. He turns a disadvantage, which is the double team, into a big advantage by getting it out quickly, and the Warriors keep the advantage by moving the ball quickly until Draymond ends up with the finish. Because they've been giving up layups and dunks, double teaming Steph on ball screens, the Cavs try to take their chances with switches. Our old friend David Lee gets hero turned punching bag Dellavedova on him and ends up drawing a foul. The reason why the Cavs were doubling and hard hedging the pick and roll is because they didn't want this to happen. Tristan is below the level of the screen, and this is all the space Steph needs. Now, Steph isn't the only splash brother with heavy gravity. Look at how Iman Shumpert refuses to leave Klay on the wing because he knows if he does, the ball is going to end up in Klay's hands for a catch-and-shoot 3. On the short roll, LeBron is forced to choose between an Iggy dunk or a Barbosa 3. He ends up taking his chances with the 3, and Barbosa makes him pay. Earlier in the series, Draymond wasn't attacking the rim aggressively. He was leaving a lot of points on the board because of this. Now this time he challenges LeBron and ends up drawing a foul on him. And on this possession, the Cavs try to switch again, and instead of trying to get around Thompson, Curry just makes the easy play to the mismatch with Delly on Draymond, and poor Delly gets picked on again. After the media created a story that Delly was shutting Steph down, it seemed like the Warriors made it a point to pick on him whenever they could, with post-ups and isolations in space.
James shows, kicks it out Barnes. Barnes on the pull-up. Barnes' second field goal.
On this possession, Delly refuses to help off of Steph, and I can't blame him, but it leads directly to this Barbosa scoop, which, FYI, every guard needs this shot in their bag. Now, Steph's most underrated skill is his finishing around the basket. He was what I like to call a big finishing vocabulary, which means that he has a lot of different ways to put the ball in the basket, along with having great touch.
Rebound, Curry! James missed.
And when we talk about athleticism in basketball, we think about running fast and jumping high. This is an athletic finish showing great deceleration, balance, and hand-eye coordination.
Left-handed, banks it in.
On an absolute string, the split off the crossover, wrong-footed jump, left hand.
And as great as his passing, his handle, and off-ball movement is, this is what Steph does better than anybody in the history of the game. No one has shot the ball as much as he has from the distances that he shoots it from with his accuracy. Steph is great shooting the ball off of the dribble as well as off of the catch, and it has changed the game of basketball. No one can be the next Shaq, but with enough practice, someone might be able to be the next Steph. Now, Steph and his shooting played Timothy Mozgov not only out of this series, he actually played every slow big right out of the NBA. You can't play guys like him against the Stephs, the Kyries, and the Dames of the league.
Offense, Steph Curry off the pick and roll. Mozgov splits the pick and roll. Curry gets to his spot. We talked about.
And this is just hard to guard. If you crowd Steph's space, he blows by you for a layup. If you give him an inch, he's a threat from anywhere past half court. And if you play him well, he still does this. We all know how the story went. The Warriors went on to finish the Cavs in 6, won 73 games the next year before finals collapse, and no one saw that coming. And then the arrival of KD, which basically canceled competitive basketball for 3 years. In our next episode, I'm going to look at the greatest half of basketball in NBA Finals history. Game 3 of the 2014 NBA Finals, where the Spurs showed us how beautiful the game of basketball can be. Thanks for checking this out, and stay tuned, because there's more to come.